Man, this thing is sold out everywhere, it seems, but you don't have to worry though, because it's not limited edition this time. Crine-Ear Daybreak, the first ever full production run IEM from Crine-Ear, and the second overall product, first one being the Project Meta, which was limited to 999 units, which were all sold out within about an hour. But again, fear not, the Daybreak is here to stay. Now before we get into the sound, let's first go over everything that you get with the Daybreak. First of all, the Daybreak is a tribrid setup consisting of 1 DD, 2 BA, and 2 microplanar tweeters, all jam-packed in this very beautiful and sturdy filled resin shell with a metal faceplate. Accessories include a high-quality cable with interchangeable termination, a hard carrying case, and 3 pairs of silicone ear tips in small, medium, and large, all for a grand total of only $169.99, which kind of makes me wonder how Crin is making any money out of this. Not only is the Daybreak the most affordable IEM with this kind of setup, it also comes in a build quality that is usually expected of much higher price IEMs. All of this, of course, is not even considering the sound quality performance, which, of course, tuned by Crinical himself and sold on Hangout.audio, it's going to have top tier sound for the price. But the big question is still, how does it sound exactly? Let me break it down. The Daybreak is tuned with the latest in neutral target discovery in mind, the JM1, or more commonly referred to as the new meta. And because of how close the Daybreak is to a JM1 tuning, it really makes the Daybreak sound quite possibly the most natural I've ever heard in any IEM, especially when it comes to mid-range presentation, which we'll get into in a little bit. And with what coloration the Daybreak does have, it does it in a way that adds just enough fun and excitement to keep the signature engaging while not ever steering too far out of neutral. Like, I wouldn't call the Daybreak a V-shape, U-shape, bassy, or bright leaning, etc. It has some bass boost, some treble brilliance, but at the same time still largely sounding neutral. Now let's break it down even more, starting with the bass. The bass on a Daybreak has this very thumpy, fast, and snappy quality about it, and the amount is also quite modest, so you're never going to get any kind of bleeding into or overshadowing of the mid-range. But at the same time, it's not going to be recessed or scooped out like you'll find in Harman tuning, so no worries about any kind of thinness here. The Daybreak's bass is a fine balance of fun, slightly bit warm yet clean sound, and the only thing I can see people wanting more of here is a bit more quantity. But other than that, overall is an excellent sounding bass, especially from a technical perspective. Moving on to the mid-range, and this is the Daybreak's magnum opus, the cleanest, most open and natural sounding mid-range that could be done without sacrificing any warmth or weight. Vocals and instruments that live here sound well separated from the rest of the mix, while at the same time retaining their natural heft and timbre. This kind of mid-range is hallmark of JM1 tuning, and the Daybreak executed on it near flawlessly. The lower mids have natural heft and weight, while the upper mids and treble are buttery smooth and with sufficient energy and liveliness. All of this put together really brings the bulk of the instruments to life, while at the same time properly displaying them without any masking from the bass or the treble. The Daybreak essentially addresses some of the issues you might find with previous JM1 tuning, where the mid-range tend to sound phenomenal, but not as well highlighted due to most of them leaning more V-shape, either too much bass or too much treble. And speaking of treble, the Daybreak delivers the same balance it does with the other ranges. The treble is ever so slightly boosted to highlight nuances and micro details, all the while keeping the crucial area between 3 kHz to 7 kHz very, very smooth, all to ensure that the timbre and tail end of vocals and instruments sound as natural as possible. Not to mention the excellent extension owing to arguably the most exciting new thing to have hit the driver market as of late, of course, the microplanar tweeters. So with the sound breakdown all finished, let's finally jump into our famous should and shouldn't section. Why should you buy the Crine-Ear Daybreak and why you shouldn't? Let's start with the should. Reason number 1 to buy the Daybreak is because it has top tier mid-range performance. It is, in my humble opinion, one of, if not the best mid-range to ever grace the IEM market. If you love mid-range, you love natural sounding vocals and instruments, the Daybreak should be at the very top of the list of IEMs you should shove into your ears. Number 2 reason to buy the Daybreak is if you're seeking a neutral tune IEM with just enough coloration to be fun and exciting, but never too much to get into the V-shape, U-shape territory. And number 3, if you want high quality accessories and build for the price. And now for the reasons why you shouldn't buy the Daybreak, and that is if you're looking for something more exciting, more V-shape, U-shape, maybe more bass power. The Daybreak does have some excitement, but it may not fulfill that role exactly for some of you guys. So in that case, I suggest you try it out first. But hey, that's just my one man's opinion on the new Crin-Ear Daybreak. If you want to form your own opinion, why not come down to the Hangout? We're located at 200 South Bridge Road, level 1 in Chinatown. Come on down, ask for the Crin-Ear Daybreak, and compare it to our other hundreds of IEMs we have available for demo. But if you're not fortunate enough to be in Singapore, but you feel like the Crin-Ear Daybreak is the IEM for you, why not consider purchasing from us at hangout.audio, our online retail store. We ship globally and for free on orders over $30. And with all that said, remember friends, if it's not on the list, it doesn't exist. See you next week.